skilled Ukrainian military pilots, and air defense forces.
The plane was shot down. Well done.
True heroes of the unequal battle for the Ukrainian sky, which continues to this day. Thanks to the efforts of Ukrainian heroes, the Russians have not been able to gain air supremacy over the entire territory of Ukraine, a significant advantage. In combat aircraft it is maintained, and more importantly felt on the front line to this day. This undoubtedly raises the apparent and significant question of how the transfer of American F-16 fighters to us will change the balance of power in the Ukrainian sky. The F-16 fighter, a well-known aircraft whose full name is the General Dynamics F-16 Fighting Falcon, an American multifunctional lightweight fourth-generation fighter. The fighter was specifically developed in the year 1974 by the renowned company General Dynamics and entered service in the year 1978. And in 1993, General Dynamics sold its aviation sector business to Lockheed Martin, which continues to produce this remarkable Iron Bird aircraft. To this day, the year of development should not be alarming. All fourth-generation aircraft were developed in the 1970s and 1980s, and they have a set of characteristics that distinguish them from older models. This includes high maneuverability, multifunctionality, an automated flight control system, and more advanced electronics. Thanks to its versatility and relatively low cost, specifically from $10 to $50 million depending on the modification and year of production, the American is the most mass-produced fourth-generation fighter. As of June 2018, approximately over 4,600 aircraft have been produced in total. Today, the fighter is in service with 25 countries. Importantly, the modernized F-16 has not lost its relevance to this day. In particular, in June 2018, Bahrain ordered 16 aircraft, Slovakia 14, and Bulgaria 8. One of the main advantages of this fighter is its versatility.
The F-16 is a lightweight multifunctional fighter, a multi-role fighter. It can perform all the functions that the aircraft currently in our arsenal can perform. It can be a fighter, it can be a bomber, and to some extent it can be an attack aircraft. By acquiring the F-16, we get 3 in 1. That is, we are transitioning to a typical NATO standard.
As we have already mentioned, another significant advantage of the F-16 is its cost and, consequently, its demand worldwide. As of today, most of the operating countries are currently allies of Ukraine.
It has been extensively battle-tested. It is relatively inexpensive due to mass production, so it is economically advantageous because for minimal money, at minimal cost, you get maximum efficiency. There are many aircraft of this type among allied countries, so we can both train pilots there and obtain some spare parts and receive weapon kits for this aircraft by reaching out to our closest allies.
When talking about potential adversaries of the F-16 in Ukrainian skies, the Russian heavy fighter Su-35 comes to mind first. Essentially, the Su-35 is a modernized version of the Su-27. The production of this fighter in Russia began significantly later than the F-16, specifically in 2008. As of today, Russia has just over 100 of these fighters in service. Unlike the American one, which has only one engine, the Russian fighter flies thanks to 2. Their comparative technical characteristics are as follows. The maximum speed of the Su-35 is almost 2,500 km per hour, while the F-16's is just over 2,100 km. In terms of wingspan length and height, the Russian fighter is significantly larger than its American counterpart. Accordingly, the weight of the Su-35 is also more impressive. The practical ceiling is just over 15,000 meters for the F-16 and about 20,000 for the Su-35. The combat load is greater for the American. The upgraded versions of the F-16 have a better radar system. This indicator is key in aerial duels at long and medium distances. In essence, the two engines give the Russian fighter a noticeable advantage in speed and maneuverability. But it's not World War II anymore. The realities of the 21st century are such that fighters very rarely engage in close, maneuverable combat. Therefore, the outcome of a duel is determined by modern self-guided missiles, smart bombs, and advanced electronics. In these aspects, the F-16 is far ahead of its Russian opponents. In March 2020, after the F-16 and the Turkish Air Force, in the skies over Syria, shot down two Su-35 bombers of the Syrian Air Force, the Chinese portal Sohu declared the statistical uselessness of Soviet and Russian combat aircraft against the F-16. According to the Chinese calculations, the results of air battles between the F-16 and Soviet-Russian aircraft are staggering. In total, the American held 60. 5 victories in 65 different aerial encounters and skirmishes with Soviet-Russian aircraft. The statistics included various conflicts in which American and Soviet-Russian fighters participated on opposing sides. This ranges from aerial duels over Syria to the war in Yugoslavia in total. In practice, Ukraine is receiving not just a battle-tested and effective fighter against Soviet-Russian pilots. The F-16 is an incredible all-rounder. Depending on its armament and equipment, it can perform the roles of 4 different types of aircraft. It is a fighter for aerial combat with enemy aircraft, an electronic warfare aircraft for suppressing and destroying air defenses, a fighter bomber capable of striking ground targets, and also an interceptor, to be continued, for hunting cruise missiles and enemy bombers. These aircraft will be especially effective in conjunction with ground-based air defenses like the Patriot and Iris-T.
How are they used? A Russian fighter approaches with bombs to a distance of 30 to 40 kilometers. It drops this bomb, which then follows GPS to the target. The fighter itself turns around and leaves. That is, it does not come closer to the border, closer to the line of combat contact than 25-30 kilometers. If we get F-16s with missiles with a range of 150 kilometers, we will be able to strike Russian bomb carriers.
In essence, American combat aircraft in Ukrainian skies are indeed a serious response to many of the occupiers' trump cards. Starting with combating potentially dangerous individuals carrying explosive devices who will no longer be allowed to approach such short distances to release bombs, and ending with intercepting various types of advanced cruise missiles and enemy fighters in Ukrainian skies, such as... That's all for now. Be sure to write in the comments about which types of weapons you would like to learn more about. Also, please make sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon so you don't miss exciting new episodes of Arsenal.